प्रजयातमे त्यागे नैके अमृतमानसुः परेणनागद्भिः सम्पुहायां विभ्राजते विशन्ति वेदान्तविज्ञानसुनिश्चितार्थाः सन्न्यासयोगार्जतयः शुद्धसत्त्वाः ते ब्रह्मलोके तु परान्तकाले परामृताः परिमुच्यन्ते सर्वे दग्धं विपापं परमेष्मभूतैर्यत्पुण्डरीकं पुरमध्यसग्रस्थम् तत्राविदग्धं गगनं विशोकस्तस्मिन् यदन्तस्तदुपासितव्यम् यो वेदादौ स्वरः प्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिलीनस्य यः परः स महेश्वरः। शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्पर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः।
गुरु जी महाराज की जय। जय गुरु जी महाराज की जय। जय गुरु जी महाराज की जय।
நமஸ்காரம். எல்லாம் ஒரு 2 மினிட்ஸ் எழுந்து நில்லுங்க. குரு பரம்பரா ஸ்தோத்திரமும் பிருதாவளியும் சொல்லுவோம்.
ஓம் கணாநாந்த்வா கணபதிகும் ஹவாமஹே கவிம் கவீநாமுபமஸ்ரவஸ்தமம் ஜேஷ்டராஜம் பிரம்மணாம் பிரம்மணஸ்பத ஆனஸ்ருண்ணோதிபிः सीदसादनम् शङ्कारोपेण मच्चित्तं पङ्कीकृतमभोद्यया किङ्करेयस्य सा माया शङ्कराचार्यमाश्रये प्रह्लादवरदो देवो यो नृसिंहः परो हरिः नृसिंहोपासकन्नित्यन्तं नृसिंहगुरुं भजे श्रीसच्चिदानन्दशिवाभिनव्यनृसिंहभारत्यभिधान्निधीन्द्रान् विद्यानिधीन् मन्त्रनिधीन् सदात्मनिष्ठान् भजे मानवशम्भरूपान् सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः पराङ्मुखं नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारतीं विवेकिनं महाप्रज्ञं धैर्यौदार्यक्षमानिधिं सदाभिनवपूर्वन्तं विद्यातीर्थगुरुं भजे अज्ञानाञ्जाह्नवीतीर्थं विद्यातीर्थं विवेकिनां सर्वेषां सुखदं तीर्थं भारती तीर्थमाश्रये विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विधुशेखरभारतीं न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन त्यागेनैके मृतत्वमानशोः परेण न कन्निहितं गुहायां बिभ्राजते तद्यतयो विहन्ति वेदान्तविज्ञानसुनिश्चितार्था सन्न्यासयोगाद्यतयः शुद्धसत्त्वाः ते ब्रह्मलोके तु परान्तकाले परामृतात् परिमुच्यन्ते सर्वे दक्रं विपापं परमेष्मभूतं यत्पुण्डरीकं पुरमध्यसग्रस्थं तत्रापि दक्रं गगनं विशोकस्तस्मिन् यदन्तस्तदुपासितव्यम् यो वेदादौ स्वरः प्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिलीनस्य यः परः स महेश्वरः श्रीमत्परमहंसपरिव्राजकाचार्यवर्या पदवाक्यप्रमाणपारावारपारेण यमनियमासनप्राणायामप्रत्याहारधारणाध्यान समाध्यष्टाङ्गयोगानुष्ठाननिष्ठा तपश्चक्रवर्ती अनाद्यविच्छिन्न श्रीशङ्कराचार्य गुरुपरम्परा प्राप्ता षड्दर्शनस्थापनाचार्या व्याख्यानसिंहासनाधीश्वर सकल निगमागमसार हृदय सांख्यत्रय प्रतिपादक वैदिक मार्ग प्रवर्तक सर्वतंत्र स्वतंत्र आदिराजधानी विद्यानगर महाराजधानी कर्नाटक सिंहासन प्रतिष्ठापनाचार्य श्रीमद्राजाधिराज गुरु भूमंडलाचार्य ऋष्यशृंगपरवराधीश्वर तुंगभद्रातीरवासी श्रीमद्विद्याशंकरपादपद्माराधक श्रीमज्जगद्गुरु श्रीमदभिनव विद्यातीर्थ महास्वामी गुरुकर कमल संजाता श्रीमज्जगद्गुरु श्री भारती तीर्थ महास्वामिना तत्कर कमल संजाता श्रीमज्जगद्गुरु श्री विदुषेकर भारती महास्वामिनांच चरणारविन्दयोः साष्टांग प्रणाम समर्पयामः.
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. अज्ञानां ज्ञानविदीर्थं विद्यातीर्थं विवेकिनां सर्वेषां सुखदं तीर्थं भारतीतीर्थम् आश्रये विद्याविनय संपन्नं वेदरागं विवेकिनां वन्दे वेदांत विद्याविनय संपन्न वेदांत विश्वेश्वर भारती. पूज्य श्री रमणचरणतीर्थ महास्वामिகள் பாதாரவிந்தங்களில் அனந்த கோடி நமஸ்காரத்தை தெரிவித்து சிங்கேரி மரத்தின் மூலமாகவும் அகம் பிரம்மஸ்மி இது மூலமாகவும் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம். மகாசன சன்னிதானம் இந்த 5 பல விதுஷேகர பாரதி மகாசுவாமிகள் கடந்த 5 வருடங்களாக இந்த அகம் பிரம்மஸ்மிங்கிற ஒரு குரூப் மூலமாக நம்ம சனாதன தர்மத்துக்கு எப்படியெல்லாம் நம்ம அதுவும் வேதாந்தம் சிரவணம் பண்ணுறதுக்காகவும் நிறைய ஏற்பாடு பண்ணி நிறைய ஊருங்களில் இது ஆன்லைன்லேயும் இதுலேயும் நடத்தின்னு இருக்கார். ஒரு 5 வருஷமாக கோவிட் பீரியடில் ஆரம்பித்து இது நடந்துட்டுருக்கு. நம்ம மெட்ராஸில் இதை இன்னும் ஒரு இதெல்லாம் ஆரம்பிக்காமல் இருந்தது. அது இந்த வருஷம் ஆரம்பித்து கொண்டு வரணும்னு சொல்லி அதை நம்ம இவர் நவநீத கிருஷ்ணனையும் ராஜ்நாராயணையும் இந்த பொறுப்பாக எடுத்துக்க சொல்லி அதை ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுக்கு முதல் கட்டமாக இந்த நம்ம வேதாந்த சிரவணம்ங்கிற இதில் இந்த டைட்டிலில் நம்ம அதுவும் அவர் சுவாமிகளே சன்னிதானமே சொல்லி நம்ம நொச்சூர் சுவாமிகள் ரமணச்சாரணதீர்த்த சுவாமிகளை வச்சு இதை ஆரம்பிங்கோ. ஏன்னா அவர் ஆரம்பித்து கொண்டு போனால் எல்லாமே இன்னும் எதை அவர் பண்ணிட்டானா நல்லா கொண்டு போக முடியும் அப்படிங்கிற அவர் சொன்னதால அவர் இன்றைக்கி இந்த இதில் அதுவும் நம்ம இப்போ இந்த சாஸ்திரக்காரா பாஷ்யக்காரா வார்த்தகாராங்கிற இந்த தலைப்பில் இன்றைக்கி ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு நொச்சூர் சுவாமிகள் ஒத்துக்கொண்டு இருக்கிறது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமாக இருக்குது எங்களுக்கு. நொச்சூர் சுவாமிகளுக்கு சுவாமி ரமணச்சாரணதீர்த்த சுவாமிகளுக்கும் நாதான சபாவுக்கும் பல வருஷங்கள் நாங்கள் வந்து இங்கே ஆல்மோஸ்ட் 20 வருஷத்துக்கு மேலே அவர் இங்கே உபன்யாசம் நடத்தின்னு இருக்கார். அவர் ப்ரொஃபஸர் அனந்தராமன் வந்து பாகவதம் இதெல்லாம் அந்த இது நடந்துட்டு 20 வருஷத்துக்கு மேலே இங்கே நடந்துட்டுருக்கு. நான் நாதான சபா மூலமாகவும் கடந்த ஒரு 2 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி ஆரம்பித்து முந்தின வருஷம் போன வருஷம் இதெல்லாம் இங்கே எங்களுக்கும் அவருக்கும் அவ்வளவு சுவாமிகளுக்கு நம்ம நாதான சபான்னா அவ்வளவு அவருக்கு பிடித்தமான இடம், இந்த பிடிச்சமான இடம் எங்களுக்கு. அது ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். இந்த எதுவும் சிங்கேரி மடத்து ஃபங்க்ஷனும் இங்கே நடக்கிறதுங்கிறது எங்களுக்கு இன்னும் ரொம்ப ஆனந்தமும் ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சியாகவும் இருக்குது. எல்லோரும் நீங்கள் வந்து கலந்து கொண்டு இது கலந்துக்கோ. இன்றைக்கி சாயங்காலத்துலேருந்து சுவாமியோட பகவத்கீதை அவர் வந்து போன வருஷம் ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கார். பகவத்கீதை ஃபஸ்ட்டு இது செகண்ட் ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கார். இந்த வருஷத்துலேருந்து இந்த வருஷம் 2வது சாப்டர் இன்னிலேருந்து சாயங்காலம் 6:30 மணிலேருந்து 8 மணி வரைக்கும், அதுவும் ஒரு வாரம் 24ஆந்தேதிலேருந்து 28ஆந்தேதி வரைக்கும் நடக்க இருக்கிறது. நீங்கள் எல்லோரும் வந்து கலந்து கொள்ளுங்க. நமஸ்காரம்.
அவதீர்ணश्च कालट्यां केदारेऽन्तर्हितश्च यः चतुष्पीठप्रतिष्ठाता जयताच्छङ्करो गुरुः श्रीशङ्कराचार्यं भजरे मानस श्री शङ्कराचार्यं भजरे मानस श्री शङ्कराचार्यं भजरे मानस अद्वैत विद्यागुरुं सद्वैदिकाध्वप्रकाशं श्री शङ्कराचार्यं भज रे मानसद्वैतविद्यागुरुं सद्वैदिकाध्वप्रकाशं श्री शङ्कराचार्यं भज रे मानस वैराग्यशान्त्यादिसुगुणैकनिलयं श्रीव्याससन्दर्शनेनाप्तहर्षं वैराग्यशान्त्यादिसुगुणैकनिलयं श्रीव्याससन्दर्शनेनाप्तहर्षं वेदान्तदुग्धाब्धिराकासुधांशुं वेदान्तदुग्धाब्धिराकासुधांशुं पीताशसन्मौनि संसेविताङ्घ्रिं वेदान्तदुग्धाब्धिराकासुधांशुं पीताशसन्मौनि संसेविताङ्घ्रिं श्री शङ्कराचार्यं भज रे मानसद्वैतविद्यागुरुं सद्वैदिकाध्वप्रकाशं श्री शङ्कराचार्यं भज रे मानस संसारघोरार्णवकर्णधारं सम्प्राप्त सर्वागमशास्त्रसारं संसारघोरार्णवकर्णधारं सम्प्राप्त सर्वागमशास्त्रसारं सन्त्यक्त सर्वैषण चित्तचारं श्रीभारतीतीर्थ हृत्पद्मसूरं सन्त्यक्त सर्वैषण चित्तचारं श्रीभारतीतीर्थ हृत्पद्मसूरं श्री शङ्कराचार्यं भज रे मानसद्वैतविद्यागुरुं सद्वैदिकाध्वप्रकाशं श्री शङ्कराचार्यं भज रे मानस
Namaskaram. A brief introduction about Aham Brahmasmi Foundation. The Aham Brahmasmi Foundation, a unit of Dakshinamaya Sri Sarada Peetham, commenced its operations 5 years ago with the benign blessings of Ubaya Jagat Gurus. What began as a vision to disseminate the timeless wisdom of Advaita took a tangible form 2.5 years ago when our very first offline camp was conducted at Sringeri. A significant milestone in our institutional journey was marked in June 2024 when Aham Brahmasmi Foundation formally became an integral unit of Dakshinamaya Sri Sarada Peetham. We are privileged to be guided by a distinguished leadership team. We are chaired by the CEO and Administrator of the Sringeri Math, Guru Seva Niratha, Sri P.A. Murli ji, and ably supported by our Vice Chairman, the renowned Shastra scholar, Sri V. Subramaniam ji. In just 30 months since that first camp, the foundation has grown exponentially. We have successfully conducted Vedanta Shravana programs in over 25 locations, majorly in South India, and established a presence in 15 locations overseas. We are now on the threshold of our 500th. Our reach has touched the lives of nearly 20,000 unique seekers who have attended our immersive camps. Furthermore, our commitment to accessible wisdom is evident in our long-term online classes, which are now delivered in 9 different languages. This massive undertaking is powered by more than 75 dedicated Vidwans, all of whom have been blessed by the Jagadgurus to conduct these sessions. Aham Brahmasmi Foundation, powered by a bunch of young staff, supported by a large volunteers network, considers its bhagyam to serve the Peetam in other ways too, via social media presence, online bookstore, and Sangeeta Sharata. As we understand, at this juncture, looking to expand into new territories, reaching more cities, towns, and countries in the coming months, we earnestly seek the continued anugraha of the Jagadgurus. It is our prayer that we may continue to serve as effective instruments in their divine mission of Dharma Prachara. It is also noteworthy that the first program after Aham Brahmasmi Foundation became a part of the Peetam was graced by Pujya Sri Ramanacharanatirtha Swamiji at Bengaluru and in April at Mysuru. Swamiji has once again consented to address the first international symposium scheduled to be conducted by Aham Brahmasmi at Mysore. Thank you.
Om Namah Paramarishibhyo Namah Paramarishibhyaha Harihi Om. Upasakanam yadupasaniyam upattavasam vatashakimule taddhama dakshinyajusha swamurtya jagartu chitte mama bodharupam adraksham akshena dayanidhanam acharyamadhyam vatamula bhage मौनेन मन्दस्मितभूषितेन महर्षिलोकस्य तमोनुदन्तं विद्राविताशेषतमो गणेन मुद्राविशेषेण मुहुर्मुनीनां निरस्यमायां दयया विधत्ते देवो महांस्तत्त्वमसीति बोधम् ममाद्यदेवो वटमूलवासी कृपाविशेषात्कृतसन्निधानः ओङ्काररूपाम् उपदिश्य विद्याम् आविद्यगध्वान्तमपाकरोतु सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुत्यर्थगोचरं वन्दे वाच्यार्थानामगोचरम् लक्ष्यार्थवपुषं वन्दे शङ्करं देशिकं गुरुम् अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनां सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं शारदा शारदाम्भोजवदनावदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं क्रियात् योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. It's the Vishesha Anugraha of Sharadamba and Sringeri Jagadguru Shri Shri Bharatitirtha Mahaswami and Jagadguru Vidushaikara Bharati Mahaswami, which has become fruitful today as this satsanga, Vedanta Vichara, Shastra Vichara on this blessed morning. Although it is Sunday, the crowd we see in Ardhagana Sabha, so many vacant seats are there. And the simple cause, I am not talking about crowd, we don't want crowd. And the subject here is, I can clear out many more seats if needed. So, I am not talking about crowd, it is about the psychology behind it. Many have thought that we need registration, without registration we cannot enter. Many people called. So that is one cause that we spoke to the organizers also. And the other thing is English. The talk is on English. Anyway, many will be benefited. Outside, many will be benefited. And the third thing is very peculiar subject. Sūtrakāra, Bhāshyakara and Vārthikakaara. The subject was given by our Paramapujya Mahasannidhanam, Vidushaikara Bharati Mahaswami, when he told the organizers to call Swami, Ramanacharanatirtha Swami, you called like that, then he gave this subject. So it is Anugraha, Ajna of Acharya that we are following here. This is a very academic subject, Shastra Vishaya. But the goal, the Lakshya is all same only. Whatever may be the satsanga, the Lakshya is same. And it is Atma Labha. Labha means benefit. And what should we get? We should get Atma, means our own self. Then only we will have happiness, santosha, fulfillment. We are going to talk about Vārttikakāra, that is Sureshwaracharya. In his Dakshinamurti Vārtikam Manasollasa, Sureshwaracharya says, Atma labhat na paro labhaha. Nothing is more greater attainment than getting Atma. But it is very ridiculous because Atma means what? Myself. And what am I seeking? Myself. And what have I got? Myself. Was it lost? No. Then what did you gain? Recognize that it was not lost. It is already there. That is why we say it is like Kanthabharananyaya. Something you are wearing in your neck, and that mala you are searching here and there, and somebody says it is there. It is right in your neck. So we call it pratyabhijna. Oh, I am getting something which I have never lost. So this is Atma Labha, but you know, whatever labha, benefit you get from the world, suppose something you do not have, like food, you see, something you are very hungry, you get food. You eat, how much can you eat? When your stomach is full, you say no, enough. If more is given, you become angry also. You run away also, because I don't want it. So, and after eating also, you are not feeling that much of joy. Your stomach is full, hunger is gone, that's all. But this Atma Labha gives you such a fulfillment, such a joy, that it is contagious. It goes to everyone. You need not do any propagation. The very joy propagates itself. That Shanti propagates itself. So, that is how you recognize a saint, a sage, a realized person, a jnani. That is how a jnani does the true spiritual propagation also. Teaching is only secondary. Shankaracharya also came, according to Shankara Vijaya, the avatar of Bhagavad Pada is to propagate this knowledge of the Atman, Atma Vidya. Because the problem is nothing but ajnanam, ignorance. And the remedy, antidote is the knowledge of the self. Ajnanantar gahanapatitanam Atma vidyopadeshaihi tratum lokan bhavadava shikhata papapachyamanan Muktva maunam vadavitapino mulato nishpatanti Shambho murti charadi bhuvane Shankaracharya rupa. Shambho murti, that Parameshwara himself came in the form of Shankaracharya to teach, to propagate or to transmit, that is the better word, transmit the knowledge of the self. Transmission can happen sometimes even without words. Avachanenaiva Brahma Provacha. In Sutra Bhashya, Bhagavad Pada says, without uttering a single word, the jnani speaks Brahman. The propagation happens like Dakshinamurti. So, although it can be done like that, in Shankaracharya's life, he muktva maunam, giving up maunam, all his life he was teaching, he was writing, he was singing many hymns. That kind of propagation was happening. So teaching, even if a jnani speaks, behind those words, the maunam will be there. That para walk will be there. That silence will be there. It will not be lost. Nishala tattvam will be there. Nishala tattvam is what? The sign of Jivan Mukti, right? Bhaja Govindam, Shankaracharya says, Nishala tattve Jivan Mukti. Even when a Jivan Mukta speaks, the words will be impregnated with Nishala tattva, with mauna, with silence. So, that is how Shankaracharya came down to emanate this knowledge of Atma, Atman, because that you do not get everywhere in the world. Shravanayapi bahubhir na labhyaha Shrinvantopi bahavo yamna vidyuhu. The Kathopanishad says, you do not get this knowledge everywhere to listen. Even if you are able to hear, generally we say, many hear, very few listen. Even though you hear, to get the essence, the implied meaning, the experience of that knowledge, two conditions are needed. One is the teacher should be a wonderful person, Ashcharya Vakta, and Kushalosya Labdha. Ashcharya means what? He should be established in Brahman. He should be Brahmanishta. Then only the power will be there behind the words. Then the receiving end also, there should be mumukshutva, not simply inquisitiveness. The person should be longing for liberation, longing, thirsting, hungering for liberation. To attain that liberation, to attain shanti, there should be that hunger should be there. That is mumukshutva. Then only this knowledge, the power of the knowledge will work. Okay. Now, so Vārthikakāra says, Atma labhanna paro labha. Shankaracharya also says this. This is the greatest attainment for a person. Only when you get it, you will attain shanti, fulfillment. In Tamil we can say niraivu, kurai illada nilai. Tamil ஒரு பாட்டு இருக்கே, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை. To attain that state, you need not attain anything new, but you need this knowledge of the self, jnanam. So that is the subject for Shankaracharya, Sureshwaracharya, Bhagavan Vedavyasa. Now, we are coming back to the subject. The first caption is Sūtrakāra. I should not much look at the audience because then it is very difficult for me to get into the subject. So Sūtrakāra is Bhagavan. Who is Sūtrakāra? Huh? That is the difficult, It is Bhagavan Vedavyasa, but scholars have all debates. They say Badarayana. So is Badarayana and Vedavyasa same? From here onwards starts the fight. You get into the scholarly circle, you will feel better not to have got into it. Even Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi said, when he went through the polemics, this unnecessary logic, debate, etc., he said, thank God, it was Bhagavan's grace that I did not read all these things before I attained. Directly I went to the truth. So much of unnecessarily philosophical confusion regarding everything. And this Western type of analyzing things, the seed was sown by the Western scholars, and they have taught us to doubt everything that our tradition has taught. Question everything that your tradition has taught. So this has spread out to such an extent that you doubt Vyasa, you doubt Badarayana, you doubt Shankaracharya, you doubt everything. We were not concerned about the year in which Shankaracharya was born, how many Shankaracharyas were there. We just take the teaching which will liberate us. Shraddha, Bhakti, that was important. When I was studying in Kaladi, there was a Vada Sabha. It was not a very organized Vada Sabha, a debate about Shankaracharya's period. When was he born? All this research. So I had to speak. Then I said, according to me, Shankaracharya was never born. Sorry, I am not saying historically, I am saying the truth which Shankaracharya himself declared, that I am that Brahman which is never born. Ajamapi janiyogam prapad aishwarya yogat. In the Mandukya there is a stava verse about Gaudapadacharya also. He says, the birthless appeared as if it took birth. There is no real birth, there is no death. It is janana marana hina shuddha chaitanya. So this is the safest ground where to stand. You are not here to, because nothing of the yesterday we can say it is true. I will say something, somebody who has more logic, he will come to me and with his logical power say, you are wrong. If I put some powerful reasonings, you will believe me. And someone else comes after me, Pattimandram, and uses much more powerful logic, you will say, I am wrong. Tarkasya apratishthānād evamapi avimoksha prasangaha. In Sutram, Brahma Sutra, there is a sutra which says, Tarkasya apratishthānād. Tarka has no pratishtha. It has no stability. Vipralambhagatvam. Bhagavad-pada in Bhashya says Vipralambhagatvam means very deceptive. It is like somewhere you keep your leg thinking that there is no depth, you go down in the water. Like that, it is very deceptive. So don't depend on logic which is not blessed by Shruti. Shruti anugrahita tarkam. Tarkam is acceptable, which the Shruti is giving, which the Upanishad is giving, which will help you to recognize the already existing eternal truth within you. By negating all that is unreal, the anatma. For that some logic Shruti is providing. That much you take. Not like to the extent where your faith, your shraddha, your bhakti is all spoiled. That is more important to you. Your shraddha is important, your bhakti is important. So that is very, very important. So first we come to Bhagavan Veda Vyasa. In Bhagavata, Bhagavata is pramana for us. So Bhagavata says Vyasa and Badarayana are same. Somewhere it says Dvaipayanosmi Vyasanam, right? The Vibhuti. Dvaipayanosmi Vyasanam. Amongst Vyasas, I am Dvaipayana. Dvaipayanaha Mahabharata Krit. One who wrote Mahabharata and blessed us is Dvaipayana Bhagavan Veda Vyasa. So Vyasanam is there. Many Vyasas. Quite possible. Because Veda also speaks about Vyasa. Many have come who have compiled the Vedas. So Dvaipayana is Vyasa. And he stayed in Badrikashrama, so he was called Badarayana. Bhagavata says Sri Shukacharya is Badarayanihi, the son of Badarayana. Dvaipayana Sutaha, both are used, synonyms. Dvaipayana Sutaha. So anyway, that is one thing. Bhagavan Vedavyasa is one of the most important acharyas. You can say the foremost acharya, depending on whom all the systems are today available. Advaita, not only Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, Advaita, Nimbarka Sampradaya, Vallabha Sampradaya, Chaitanya Sampradaya, every Sampradaya has its root in Bhagavan Vedavyasa or Badarayana. And Badarayana Sutra is Brahma Sutra. Hence he is called Sūtrakāra. Sutra Bhāshyakāra Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Sūtrakāra is Bhagavan Badarayana. Bhāshyakara is Bhagavan Shankaracharya. We bow down to both. Sutra Bhāshyakāra Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. So the Sūtrakāra is Bhagavan Vedavyasa. When somebody asks about Hinduism, what is the supreme authority for Hinduism? What will we say? Naturally, generally people will say Vedas. Those who know the Shastra, they will say Shruti. Shruti means the Upanishads. Vedanta Shastra. Vedanto nama Upanishad Pramanam. Tadupakarini Shariraka Sutrani cha. So Vedanta is Upanishad Pramanam. The authority for Vedanta Shastra is Upanishad. Whoever has come in the tradition, they stand by that. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, when he praises Arunachala, he says, Vedantatte veru ara vilangum veda porul. His own realization, he says, it is Vedantatte veru ara, means Advaita. No difference, no separation, nothing other than the self. That which shines forth in the heart, it is the Veda Purul, the essence, the cream. So, Bhagavan Veda Shruti is the supreme authority, Upanishad. And what Upanishad reveals to us, why the Upanishad is the supreme authority? This question also can come. Generally, traditional people will not give much convincing answer. They will say because it is apaurusheyam, not created by a human being, so the human intellectual flaws cannot be there in the Upanishad. Hence, the Upanishads are the supreme authority, Pramana. This much logic, this much reasoning is enough for those who have Shraddha and Bhakti. Those who have come in the tradition, this is enough. Vedam ellam Bhagavan kittendu vandirukku. Yasya nishvasitam vedaha. It is Bhagavan's breath, moochukathu, prana. So that is enough. Bhagavan himself has revealed the Vedas. But to convince someone, because all the scriptures in the world, every religion, they say the same thing. Christian religion also, they will say it came from Bhagavan, it is a revelation. And Islam also, they will say it is revelation. So, I don't believe it if you say. You should believe, that is the need. But in Vedanta, we don't say you should believe. We don't say it is a revealed text. You have to believe. If you have belief, Shraddha, that is good. But without that also we can convince you. Because the first example that already we gave, like you are wearing a necklace in your neck. And you are searching here and there. Someone tells you your necklace is in the nearby temple. Someone tells you your necklace is was stolen by somebody. Someone tells you your necklace has gone to heaven, Vaikuntham or Kailasam. At last, somebody comes to you and tells you it is right in your neck. Who is Pramanam? Simple question. Sollugo. Leah. He is not giving you any knowledge. The others are giving you work. If it is in the temple, you have to go and search in the temple. If it is being stolen by somebody, you have to find the police. FIR podano. Doubt him, search him, question him. That you have to do. If it is in Vaikuntham, the only way you have to die. Or Kailasam, you have to die. And no, you cannot come back and tell. But when we tell you, it is you, Tattvamasi. No new knowledge is given, no work is given, not even strain of knowledge, not belief, not faith. Just pointing out, dishati, upadishati, samipe dishati. Something which is very intimate is pointed out and you recognize, idaya poi thirteen irundhe. something which is already within me, which is my own real nature. I was searching it here and there, everywhere. What a fool I was. And that one moment, you need not even meditate. You have to know that. No meditation involved. Right? You need not. If I tell you, the necklace is in your neck, necklace is in my neck, necklace is in my neck, I am wearing necklace, I have to believe it, I have to meditate. No, nothing of that sort. When I show you, you recognize. That is why the Guru is named as Deshika, one who points out. He just tells you, it is there. Tattvamasi bodham. That's all. He just gives you that, and that moment you recognize, you went inside the ashrama of Guru as a samsari, one who is miserable, one who is suffering with a lot of problems, and you come out as a Jivan Mukta. That easy is Vedanta. One moment, without any sadhana, you are liberated. He will ask, is it possible like that? Is it that simple? No, Ramana Bhagavan said, Ayye ati sulabham noyartamakkum. Even ordinary people, provided he is able to recognize it, next moment he can become free. That simple is Vedanta Jnanam. Pratyaksha avagamam dharmyam susukam kartum avyayam. Bhagavad Pada in Gita Bhashya says, those who have become sufficiently introverted, antarmukha, natah param suviknyayam swasannataram asti. It is very easily knowable, which is very intimate, very simple. Sulabhasyayam sujayasya apta bandhuvate sharira padma kuhare sarvesham api shatpadaha. Sarveshamiva Shatpadaha. Sulabhasyayam atyantam. Very, very simple, attainable, achievable. The truth is already, it has already happened to you in your heart as your own self, as your own real nature. Asmat prasiddham, as Bhagavad Pada puts it, Asmat prasiddham. Okay. So, this truth, this is why the Upanishad is Pramanam. The Upanishad is Pramanam because it is revealing the ever-revealed. It is not revealing something which is unrevealed. The revelation of the ever-revealed. The revelation of the eternally revealed. Niravaranam, actually no avaranam at all. Anavritatvat bahirantaram nate. Sarvasya, sarvatmanaha, atmavastunaha. Bhagavata says, you are the Atma of all, and no avarana is there, no avarana is possible. Avidya is not possible. First we say avidya, then later on we find out avidya is avicharita siddham. Sureshwaracharya says, because you are not inquiring, there is avidya. Naishkarmya says, because you are not inquiring, you think it is covered. There is avarana. Actually, no avarana. Anyway, so this is the secret of the Upanishad. Shruti. Upanishad means, the knowledge which is very intimate. You can say Upanishad means simple knowledge. People think Upanishad means very difficult. Upanishad means very simple. Some boy goes to a guru and asks, teach me Brahma Vidya. The teacher gives some cows and says, he goes to the forest with the cows and comes back as a Brahmajnani. The disciple is ready. He is a deserving person. This knowledge is very simple. If not, it is very difficult. Even if you are a giant intellect, it is very difficult. That is the only problem. Okay. So this Upanishad, this Shruti, is the authentic substratum in which all the tradition, the entire building is standing. this castle of Hinduism is standing, and three pillars: Shruti Prasthana, Smriti Prasthana, Nyaya Prasthana. Shruti is Upanishad, Smriti is Bhagavad Gita, and Nyaya, reasoning, is Brahma Sutra. So Shruti, what Shruti tells us, you go directly to the Upanishad and learn the Upanishad is comparatively very simple. When this subject came to me, I was just wondering what should I say. First, I should tell you, I am not a big authority in Vārthikam or Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, because Brahma Sutra Bhashyam will not stop in Brahma Sutra Bhashyam. It will go to Bhamati, Vivarana Prasthana, Samkshepa Shariraka Prasthana, Parimalam, Apaya Dikshitar, all these things it will go. Nobody can claim I am a scholar there. Because somebody can quote something which you have never heard. So, I was not interested also from my younger days, because I have started this journey when I was 13 or 14 and ended my journey when I was 13 or 14. So, that was so simple, Bhagavad Anugraha, like that. You know? So, it's all Vedanta Jnanam only, but this debate style, this Purva Paksha Siddhanta, this criticizing somebody, defeating somebody never appeals to me. I had no taste in that. For me, Bhagavad Pada was so sweet, like Viveka Chudamani, Prakarana Grantha, Stotra Grantha, and Upanishad Bhashya also. I have enjoyed those portions where Acharya's words are so sweet. Directly it gives you the knowledge of the self. Regarding the Purva Paksha, like many Purva Pakshas do not exist now. Many Purva Pakshas we want to defeat, even suppose some Buddhists, like Kshanika Vijnanavada, Shunyavada, and many Buddhist traditions, if you go and tell this Purva Paksha even to Buddhists, they don't understand. That is gone. So, we are not here to defeat anybody. We are not here to win any debate. We are here to get liberated, to attain the highest knowledge, which is quite possible. And the moment you attain the highest knowledge, you know, you have won over the whole world. Saswarad bhavati, sarveshu lokeshu kamacharo bhavati. The Shruti says he becomes Samrat, an emperor. And Swarad also means self-effulgent. Because nothing exists for him to win. All are my own self. With whom will I fight? Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhut vijanataha tatra ko mohaha kashokaha ekatvam anupashyataha yastu sarvani bhutani atmani eva anupashyati sarvabhuteshu cha atmanam tato na vijugupsate. One who beholds everyone as the self and beholds everyone in his own self, with whom will he fight? Whom will he hate? No fight. Gaudapadacharya says, for a true Advaiti, no fight with anybody. Swasiddhanta vyavastasu dvaitino nishchidadridham parasparam virudhyante tairayam na virudhyate. These Dvaitis are who are Dvaiti? Who are fighting with others. Anyone is a Dvaiti. Because for him the other exists. And who is an Advaiti? Duri bhuta anyadarshanaha. For him there is no other. He is Advaiti. Ananya prokte gadiratra nasti. Kathopanishad says the Acharya should be an Ananya. For him, this Anya, the other is no more there. The other has vanished. For him, the entire universe is Ekam Vishwam Ekatmakam Pashyan Prakritya Purushena Cha. The Sankhya says Prakriti and Purusha. Advaiti says neither Prakriti nor Purusha. Ekatmakam. Only one Atma is there. No two. Duality is removed. And that is the expression of the highest love. Tasya priyameva shiraha. In front is kept this priyam. Modo dakshina pakshaha pramoda uttara paksha ananda atma brahmapucham pratishtha. So there is nothing to fight. Again. So, this subject, when we go deep into it, we have to remember all these things. For me, I've started this scriptural journey with Bhagavad Gita and Upanishad basically. And that is enough. But when you have doubt about the Upanishad mantras, what they mean, what they try to convey, when the contradictions are there, then you come to the Sutrani. We call it Shariraka Sutrani. Shariraka means one which is inside the Shariram is Sharira. Shariri, Dehi, Atma. And the sutras which speak about the Atma is Shariraka Sutra. Bhagavan Vedavyasa or Badarayana, whoever it may be, has given us this Shariraka Sutrani. The Lakshana for Sutrani, Alpaksharam Asandigdham Saravad Vishwatomukham Astobham Anavadyam cha Sutram Sutravido Viduhu. What is Sutram? Alpaksharam, very few words. Very few words are there. Suppose, Athato Brahma Jignasa. This much generally everybody knows. You know, our culture has a special style to make us remember it or keep a touch with the highest thing even in our ordinary life. In our village, in our younger days, during this Navaratri, Avadharana will be there. So naturally they will say, Brahma Sutram Avadharaya. Then everybody will say, Athato Brahma Jignasa. This much everybody knows. Or Dharma Sutram, Athato Dharma Jignasa. This much, even in village we say these things. So that is the first sutram of Brahma Sutra. The sutra means alpaksharam, very few words, and it should be impregnated, filled with meaning, saravat. And Vishwatomukha, multi-dimensional. The problem with this multi-dimensional feature is, everybody has their own opinion about it. Astobham, no irrationality, very rational, logical. Anavadyam, irrefutable. This is the lakshana of a sutra. See, Brahma Sutra is there, somewhat difficult to get the meaning. Yoga Sutrani, atha yoga anushasanam. There it is Jijnasa. Brahma Sutra it is Jijnasa. The inquisitiveness, the thirst for knowledge. And in Yoga Sutra it is Anushasana, discipline. You have to obey. So that is Anushasana. Bhakti is very sweet. Love everybody understands. So Narada Bhakti Sutra, there Narada says, Atha Bhaktim Vyakyasyama. It is simple like Bhakti. Sutra also, although it is called Sutra, everybody can easily understand. Athato Bhaktim Vyakyasyama. You know love. Now we are just giving you much more clarity about what is true love. That's all. Anyway, so this Sutrani, this Vyasa Sutrani or Badarayana Sutrani, regarding this Badarayana Vyasa confusion, Vārthikakāra himself has written a hymn, a verse, a praise about Bhagavan Badarayana who wrote Brahma Sutram, where he says, Brahma Sutra Krite Tasmai Vyasaya Amita Tejase Jnana Shakti Avataraya Namo Bhagavato Harehe. So Bhāmatikara has no doubt whether Badrayana and Vyasa are same. Bhāmatikara is Vachaspati Mishra, who wrote a commentary to Brahmasutra Bhāshyam. He is also called Sarvatantra Swatantra. I had the good fortune or difficulty, I don't know, to go through Bhamati when I was in Kalati for 3 years. Why I say difficulty, in those days, our heart was all for japa, dhyana, and directly going to the experience. While you have to study the Shastra, it is also a difficulty. And especially Tarka Shastra, very, very difficult. Nyaya Shastra, Tarka Sangrahan, Deepika, up to Muktavali, I studied. But last 2 years back, if you have asked me, Tarka Shastra, how much Swami you have studied, I would have told you, I studied Tarka Sangraha and Deepika. Recently in Tirupati, I met the teacher who taught me. Ganapati Bhatt is there, who was teaching, means I was staying in his own house for some time, and he will cook and give me food also and have discussions in this. So while we were having discussion, in Tirupati, somebody did namaskar, and then I looked, after so many years, almost 15 or 20 years I am seeing him. Said, he introduced himself. And suddenly I was shocked. Then another scholar was there, Kudumba Shastri was there. Ganapati Bhatt sir told, I have taught Swamiji Muktavali. Then only I came to know I have studied Muktavali. He told, he is teaching another scholar also, like that. So that is the way I have studied these Shastras. And Tarka Shastra, Vedanta Paribhasha, etc. we studied. Advaita Siddhi, Chitsuki, etc. These things I will use to frighten scholars. See, if I tell them I have studied Chitsuki, I can frighten them. But if somebody asks me, it will be difficult. Because although I went through that Shastra, my interest was all cornered in Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Bhashyam, not at all in this field of Tarkam, not at all in this field of debate. And there was no need. In fact, I was not even searching for anything new. So, in that state, I was in Kalati while we were studying. There Bhamati we studied. So there, this shloka, recently Chatusutri, Brahmasutram, I gave a lecture about 16 days, last Chaturmasyam in Tamil. There I have spoken about these things. So, Sutram is like this. And Bhashyam is, another Lakshana is also there for Sutram. Samjñāca paribhāṣāca vidhir niyama evaca atidesho adhikarascha shadvidham sutra lakshana. This is another lakshana. And Bhashyam means commentary on the sutram, because you cannot by yourself know the meaning of sutra. So sutrartho varnyate yatra padaihi sutranusaribihi swapadani cha varnyante bhashyam bhashyavido viduhu. Sutram is known to those who know the Sutram, and Bhashyam is known to those who know the Bhashyam. And this is the Lakshana written. So when we were studying there, if the teacher asks, what is the meaning of Sutram, what is the meaning of Bhashyam, we will say Sutram, Sutra Vido Viduhu, Bhashyam, Bhashya Vido Viduhu, Engala Alavidu. Engalukku rendu theriyadu. Sutram, those who know the Sutram, they know. Bhashyam, those who know the Bhashyam, they know. So, anyway, this is the Lakshana. So, Sūtrakāra, Bhagavan Vedavyasa. Bhagavan Vedavyasa's Janma, that Paurnami, Vyasa Paurnami, we consider as the Guru Paurnami. Because Vyasochistam Jagat Sarvam. Whatever we have got as Hinduism is all given by Vyasa, Bhagavan Vyasa. And Mahabharatam and Srimad Bhagavatam, we enjoy so much. See, Srimad Bhagavatam is a commentary on Brahma Sutra, Bhakti Sutra, Yoga Sutra and Dharma Sutra. All the sutras are there in Bhagavatam. But the main theme is Brahma Sutra. The language is Bhakti. The main theme is Brahma Sutra. To indicate that Bhagavan Vedavyasa has started the Bhagavatam as Janmadhyasya Yataha. The second sutra of Vedanta Sutrani. The second sutra of Brahma Sutra is Janmadhyasya Yataha. From where the entire creation has come out, in which the entire creation remains, and to where the entire creation goes back. That is Brahma. And in Brahma Sutra, Chatussutri, this source is pure consciousness. Source is Brahman. Source is Bhagavan. To convey this message is so sacred, so holy, so elevating. See, this is very important because scientifically we are also searching the source for everything. And science is telling there is something behind, the underneath. One source from which everything has arisen, in which everything remains and to which everything goes. What is that? What do they say in science for that? Matrix, right? That, what is that? And they have, till now they have not told that it is alive, it is Chaitanya, it is purity. It represents everything that is divine. That they have not told. Formerly they were saying it is only matter, Jadam, Prakriti. And the Sankhyas also say that, Pradhanam. So Shankaracharya's entire effort is to refute that and to give you the message that behind every creation, behind everything, behind every manifestation, underneath the source is divine. How elevating is that? If you know that behind your life there is a dead thing, after dying you are going to become nothing, and you arose from nothing. Meaninglessness. There is a Hindi song, it came long back in a television, some Jain story. They will constantly sing very boring song, Jeevan mein kuch saar nahi hai, jeene ka adhikar nahi hai. There is no meaning in life. Worthless is living. Because what? You came from nothing and you go back to nothing. And what is the message of the Shruti? Shruti says, Ananda deva khalvimani bhuta nijayante, Anande najatani jivanti, Anandam prayantyabhisamvishantiti, Saisha bhargavi varuni vidya. This is vidya. This is knowledge. This is right understanding that everything arose from Ananda, everything remains in Ananda, and ultimately everything goes back to Ananda. Anando brahmeti vyajanat. Education becomes complete. It comes to fruition, fulfillment, when you know that Ananda is Brahma. bliss is Brahman. And behind this, that message, it percolates Hinduism. That is why we speak to Buddhists. We refute Buddhism, this Shunyavada. Because everything arises in Shunya, everything remains in Shunya, everything ends. And modern people, many people, they say, Shunya is Purna. Okay, then why not say Purna? Shunya. Tamilnadu vara Shunyam vechirukkan. Why should you say Shunyam? You can say Purnam. If bliss and sadness is same, why not say bliss? So Purnam, Anandam. From Anandam everything arises, in Ananda everything remains, and to Ananda everything goes back. To expound this Ananda, Bhagavan Veda Vyasa wrote all the Puranas. Puranas are all Ananda. Ate thane, Ananda thane. And Bhagavata is Ananda. Mahabharata is also Ananda only. Jayam. Mahabharata, another name is Jayam. It is Ananda. And Krishnavatara is Ananda. Ramavatara is Ananda. Liya. Chedai, Murku, Pal Payasam, Pullayarna, Kozhakattai, ella Anandanda. Everywhere, even from children to the greatest scholars, we don't take seriously life very seriously. One complaint about Hindus is that they are not serious. Because they know nothing is there worth making serious. See, when Swami Vivekananda was in America, he was playing with children, laughing, joking. When Padri came, Christian priest, he said, Swami, you are a spiritual teacher, religious man. You should be very serious. You should not play like this. He said, I will be serious when stomach pain comes to me. Why should I be serious? Amritasya putraha. Our Upanishad says we are all Amritasya putraha, children of immortal bliss. Ananda is there behind us. So Ananda, to expound Ananda, Vyasa Bhagavan wrote Purana. To expound Ananda, Vyasa wrote Bharata. To expound Ananda, when you have doubt about Ananda, you come to Brahma Sutra. And the Sutra, Janmadhyasya Yataha, from where everything arose, in which everything stays, and unto which everything goes. What is that Adhisthana, that source? It is Ananda. In another name, we say it is Brahma. In another name, we say it is Bhagavan. Brahmeti, Bhagavaniti, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Shabdyate. Shabda means Shruti. Shruti sometimes says Brahman, sometimes says Paramatma, sometimes says Bhagavan. And what exactly is this? No doubt. No doubt. Shruti says Jnanam Advayam. That knowledge Advayam, that Advaita Jnana is named and called as Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. This verse is from Bhagavatam I am taking. I don't know how these Dvaiti scholars will comment on this verse. Because Jnanam Advayam, but they are very strong. They can, even Tattvamasi they will change. So why not anything they can change? So, Jnanam Advayam, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, it's all name. And what is that Advaita Jnana? That non-dual experience, that pure consciousness. So, this is Bhagavan Vedavyasa's greatest contribution is Brahma Sutrani. And these Brahma Sutras are commented by so many scholars. But when we say Sutra Bhashyam, generally it is Bhagavan Bhāshyakāra is Shankaracharya. North you go, they don't say Shankaracharya. They generally say Bhagavan Bhāshyakara. Akhandananda Saraswati Swami, great scholar, Brahmanishta, Vrindavan. Once he was in Coimbatore, in Ayurvedic treatment, I think in Ayurveda pharmacy. He asked his devotees that to arrange a car so that he can enter Kerala. So they just crossed the border, that Valayar forest, and he got down from the car and did a namaskara and took some dust from the earth and put it in his head and said, "This is the blessed Bhumi where Bhagavan Bhāshyakāra was born." That was their bhava. And they just went back. So, that now first is Bhagavan Sūtrakāra, that is Vedavyasa. And what is the time now? It's 11:15. Okay. So, Bhagavan Sūtrakāra is Bhagavan Vedavyasa, who gave so much to us, abundant. Sutras are more than 555 sutras are there in Brahma Sutra. Generally, those who come in the Advaita Parampara, their daily Anushtana, one Anushtana is Brahma Sutra Bhashya Parayana, like Gita Parayana, Upanishad Parayana, Sutra Bhashya Parayana. After my sannyasa, when I went to Sringeri, Sannidhanam put a Rudrakshamala in my neck. To Purva Ashrama, they will not touch. So I was just hesitating and extending my hand. He said, "Inge vango," he said, and put the Rudrakshamala and gave me a Brahma Sutra Bhashya. And Mahasannidhanam, with so much compassion, from his own hand, he gave Kashaya Vastram also. So that is the sannyasa bestowing is actually that only, giving the Kashaya Vastram. So Mahasannidhanam, Vaarthikakaara Mahaswami, he gave Kashaya Vastram. So this Brahma Sutra Bhashya was given by Sannidhanam at that time. So this happened after I took sannyasa and went there. But that also is a part of sannyasa only. So, anyway, so Brahma Sutra Bhashya Parayana is a Nitya Nishtha for those who are in the Yati Dharma. And when you study this Vedanta Shastra, you know, there are two ways you can study. One is from a good scholar. The scholar can be a Brahmanishta, but not necessarily. It can be academic scholarship also. So, that kind of study very rarely becomes fruitful. It just becomes intellectual knowledge, that's all. It will not attain that fruition of Brahmanishta. Two things are necessary. The teacher should be a Brahmanishta, Shrotriya, and the disciple should be a Tivra Mumukshu. And traditionally they will say he should be a Vividisha Sannyasi, or at least should be of that qualification. That much sacrifice, renunciation, ekagrata, upasana nishtha is there. The tradition is like that. You know, Vidyaranya Swami in Jivan Mukti Viveka, he says, those who have the mind very purified through karma vishuddhi and upasana nishtha, they listen to Upanishad, Vedanta Shastra from a teacher, very quickly they will attain jnana. Adyandanaha, in Jivan Mukti Viveka, he wrote about 600 years back. He says, modern students, that means 600 years back, he says, modern students come without this qualification of upasana and karma vishuddhi, hence they learn all these shastras, but they remain where they are. So the problem is that prerequisite is not there. The chitta shuddhi, vairagyam is not there. The outer sannyasa alone will not help. Don't think I am telling that. That state must be needed. That kind of renunciation, that kind of purity, that kind of one-pointedness. If it is there, this jnanam is so simple. Anyway, so Brahma Sutra, Bhagavan Vedavyasa gave, And we have already spoken. The first sutra says, you have viveka, vairagya, shamati shatka sampatti, mumukshutvam, etc. Then, if you have this inquisitiveness and you go to a guru, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshayandite jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. You have that vairagyam and jitnyasa. Jnatum ichha is jitnyasa, the thirst for knowledge. And thirst for knowledge is thirst for knowledge. It is thirst for liberation. You should be very clear about it. Thirst for knowledge means you can go on learning everything, every language, every philosophy. It is not mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam means ahankaradi dehantan bandhan ajnana kalpitan swaswarupa avabodhena muktumichha mumukshuta. I want to know my swaswarupa so that I will be free of this limitation of body, mind, ego, everything. And no more this ignorance will remain with me that I am born, I am growing, I will become old, I will die. And those who are dear to me, they will die. All this suffering will come. This suffering is called samsara, and I should be free of samsara, and that is nirvana for which the mumukshu is seeking. So when this stage comes, the Sūtrakāra, we bow down to Bhagavan Vedavyasa, who has bestowed on us all this what we call Hinduism today, with all varieties, like Vishishtadvaita, Dvaita, Nimbarka Sampradaya, every modern Sampradayas also. Everything come under that one umbrella. So that is Sūtrakāra, one who gave us Brahma Sutrani. And generally Brahma Sutrani, we takes this Chatussutri. Athato Brahma Jignasa, Janmadyasya yataha, Shastrayonitvat, Tattu Samanvayat. This is Samanvayadhyaya, the first chapter. So the entire Vedic literature has the Samanvaya. It has only one goal, one lakshya. That is the knowledge of the self, the Atman. And to know that the substratum, the source behind everything is Brahman, is God. You can say Bhagavan. Not any pradhanam or anything else. Not generally we say, modern people, munnalela ana ena Bhagavan abdin Bhagavanoda anugraham, and you see the beauty of some place, you say Bhagavanoda srishti. But now, or last few years, people have put another word there. They will say nature. It's the beauty of nature. Anybody can say that. Even a Nastic and an atheist can also say beauty of nature. But what do you mean by nature? Have you ever questioned it? What do you mean by nature? Is it tree? Is it mountain? Is it sky? Is it ocean? Is it the earth? No. Something behind. What is that something? Is it a power? And what is the nature of that power? Is it separate from you? Are you separate from nature so that you can look at nature and applaud nature has done a good job? Are you not a part of the nature? And what is nature? Marumarichiga. You go deep into it, you will know there is no nature. You will find nature is not there, it is only Brahma. And what is Brahma? It is Adrishyam, Agrahyam, Alakshanam, Achintyam, Avyapadeshyam, Ekatma Pratyayo Saram, Prapanchopashamam, Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. Here it comes, because all the drishya is wiped out and the drik in the Atma Swarupa, in the Swarupa, you are established. There your inquiry comes to fulfillment and you find there is nothing called a nature apart from the seer. There only you can have conviction. There only you can have pratishtha, establishment. Otherwise always confusion, doubt, questioning, and no end. So this is what the Brahma Sutras are there to convey. Essence of Brahma Sutra is only this much. and especially the Chatusutri. And later on, many questions are taken and answered by Sūtrakāra. Bhagavan Vedavyasa gives the sutra, and Bhagavan Bhāshyakara, Shankaracharya, has written a very powerful commentary to Vedavyasa's sutra, and where he says, Vārthikakāra gives a verse in praise of Shankaracharya in Sutra Bhashya Bhamati, Natva Vishuddha Vijnanam Shankaram Karunanidhim. That Shankara, who is the treasure house of Karuna, I am bowing down to him, is Vishuddha Vijnana, pure essence of knowledge. For what? Bhashyam Prasanna Gambhiram. This is the Visheshana given. What is this Shankara Bhashya? Bhashyam Prasanna Gambhiram Tat Pranitam Vibhavyate. Now we are going to discuss on that Bhashya which is Prasanna Gambhira. Giram Dhara Kalpadruma Kusuma Dhara. All poetical expressions, very beautiful. So, that is Bhagavan Bhāshyakara. And there are two prasthanas regarding Brahmasutra Bhashya. One is Bhamati Prasthana, the other is Vivarana Prasthana. We are not going into that. Panchapadika, Padmapadacharya has written a commentary to Brahmasutra. And Sureshwaracharya, Vārthikakaara, he is called Vārthikakāra. His Vārthika is two texts. One is Taittiriya Upanishad, the other is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And there is a Sambandha Vārtika also. And Manasollasa Dakshinamurti Stotra Vārtika, and an independent work called Naishkarmya Siddhi, which we will come now. So, Shankaracharya is Bhāshyakara. And Bhashyam Prasanna Gambhiram. This Brahmasutra Bhashya is called Prasanna Gambhira Bhashya. In fact, those who have studied all the Bhashyas of Shankaracharya, they will have the opinion that the most profound Bhashyam is what? I know Chennai is full of people who have studied, Mahamahopadhyaya, Krishnamurti Shastrigal, Mani Dravida Shastrigal is there, and Goda Shastrigal was there. Now Paramartha and Swamiji is teaching. So many great Mahatmas are there, those who have taught. So just I want to get a feedback. Yes, wonderful. So that is, I was sure that I will get. So, Brihadaranyaka Bhashyam is the most profound. So, Vārtikam is also on that. Brihadaranyakam itself is, Brihat means big. Aranyaka means forest. It is like forest. Generally people say, you quote some mantra and you don't know from where it is. You simply say Brihadaranyakam. And it is difficult for people to find out also. And most of the mantras will be there in Brihadaranyakam. So Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Bhashya and Vārtikam. For writing Vārtika means metrical form of commentary. In meters, in shlokas. There are Mandukya Karika is there, like that. Karika, of course, some difference is there. And Dakshinamurti Stotra Vārtikam, you can see small, beautiful Vārtikam by Sureshwaracharya. And that Vārtikam, I really love that Vārtikam. There, Sureshwaracharya says about Shankaracharya, why we call Shankaracharya Shiva? He says, because only Shiva can give you that Advaita Jnanam without much struggle. Paramadvaita Vijnanam Kripaya Vai Dadatiyaha. Yo vai guruvaras sakshat Shiva eva na samshayaha. He gives you the Paramadvaita Vijnanam by Krupa. Sometimes through Maunam also it is possible. So that simple it becomes when you find a teacher like Shankaracharya. So, this Bhagavan Bhāshyakāra has given us this Brihadaranyaka Bhashyam, Brahmasutra Bhashyam, Gita Bhashyam, all other Upanishad Bhashyam. Scholars, there is a lot of debate. Some debates are very, very logical also, like Shvetashvatara Upanishad Bhashyam. Although it is a Gambhira Bhashyam, but many say it's not Shankaracharya's Bhashyam. And Sanatsujadiya Bhashyam is there, Hastamalaka Bhashyam is there, Vishnu Sahasranama Bhashyam is there, so many are there. So anyway, so when we speak about Shankaracharya's Bhāshyakara, he gave us the commentary for Bhagavad Gita. That is one great help. Because only by his commentary Bhagavad Gita came out from Mahabharata. Although many have written before him also, Shankar Bhagavad Pada gave us the real essence of Gita. He himself says, Sarvajna Bhagavan Krishna gave the knowledge. Sarvajna Bhagavan Vedavyasa took that knowledge and wrote in the form of verses. What Krishna gave to Arjuna, probably nobody can get it other than Hanuman who is sitting in the flag, and Arjuna, and Dhritarashtra who heard, Sanjaya who narrated, like that. So the same thing was given to us in verse form, in shloka form. Saptabhihi shloka shataihi upanipabandha. As 700 verses, Bhagavan Vedavyasa, who is also omniscient, Sarvajna, like Krishna, he gave us the Gita. After saying this, Tadidam Gita Shastram, that Gita Shastram, Samasta Vedartha Sarasangraha Bhutam, which is the essence, the cream of the entire Vedartha, Durvijneyartham, very difficult to unearth the meaning. Finding so many people are giving very contradictory, conflicting meaning for the verses, seeing that aham vivekataha arthanirdharanam karishyami. Probably this is the one or two places where Bhagavan Shankaracharya uses this first person, where he says, I will do this so that no more doubt will come. See, you have to see the root. He says that Sarvajna, Bhagavan, gave this shloka, this Gita message. Sarvajna Bhagavan Vedavyasa wrote it, and now Bhāshyakāra says, no, so that you can set aside all doubts, I am writing this commentary. Who is this I? Other than the same Sarvajna, the same omniscient being. Somewhere in Bhagavata, Tikakara, Udartha Dipikakara, Sridharacharya, who is considered as the greatest authority even by Chaitanya Sampradaya people who criticize Shankaracharya. Sridharacharya says, somewhere quoting Shankaracharya, he says, Sarvajno Bhagavan Bhāshyakara. He says, he didn't say Shankaracharya, he says Sarvajno Bhagavan Bhāshyakara. Omniscient Bhāshyakara. All knowing, because Ishvara himself, Chandrasekhara Bharati Swami had such bhakti. When he speaks about Bhagavad Pada, he will say something. If you ask even about creation, Chandrasekhara Bharati Swami says the creator knows, and Bhāshyakara is himself Ishvara. That much of bhakti was there. No doubt about anything. So that Bhagavan Bhāshyakara, who wrote the commentary for Gita, very small commentary, not very elaborate commentary. Only for very few verses you have elaborate commentary. Otherwise it is just shloka, artha, meaning, that's all. And many places you need the meaning. Without the Bhashya you will not get the essence. You know, I will tell you one example. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. One verse in Gita. This is what comes to me now in heart. And what is yoga? What is yoga? Karmasu kaushalam. Kaushalam in karma. So when you read this verse, you know generally what you will understand. And many commentators in English, they have slipped there. They have taken the verbal meaning and they say yoga is dexterity in action, skillfulness in action. That is what they have written. When you read this, it appeals to you also. You feel, oh, it should be right. You perform some action very skillfully, that is yoga. That means whoever performs any action skillfully should be a yogi. He can be a samsari, he can be ignorant, he can be stressed, he can be depressed, he can be a suffering person, but he can perform some action skillfully, you should be a yogi. Will it fit? There comes Bhāshyakara's help. He says, skill, see, yoga is skillfulness in action. What Shankaracharya says, skill is yoga in action. Means when you are acting, you don't lose your yoga, that is skill. Action can be good or bad. See, now recently a Buddha Bhikshu Mahatma who came, we were having satsanga. Probably he might come here also, I don't know. He's somewhere in Chennai. So they were saying that mindfulness, the Buddhist teaching, mindfulness. Actually they say sati. Sati means smriti. Pali it is sati. Smriti. It means this recollection of that nirvana is that state. Instead of, they say mindfulness, concentration. And they say American government is teaching mindfulness to the military people so that you concentrate way, how can you kill another person? So skill means anywhere you can use it. So yoga is whatever may be your prarabdha karma, wherever you are acting, yoga sthita, you are in yoga and you are working. Whatever work you may do, you are not affected by doership and enjoyership. That is yoga. Okay. So, this is where the Bhashya is very important. And Bhashya in Brahma Sutra Bhashya, if you take, generally when we say Bhashya, generally people will take only Brahma Sutra Bhashya. And the very beginning is so beautiful. And all other sampradaya like Visishta Advaita, Dvaita, they wonder why Shankaracharya has written this Adhyasa Bhashyam. What is the need? And see, even if you don't read the Brahma Sutram completely or any other Vedantic text, that simple Adhyasa Bhashyam you read, you know what is Vedanta. Yushmat asmat tatye gocharayoho vishay vishayinoho tamah prakashavad viruddha swabhavayoho Itaretara bhavanupapattau siddhayam tad dharmanam api sutaram itaretara bhavanupapattih ityatah asmat pratyaya gochare vishayini chidatmake yushmat pratyaya gocharasya vishayasya tad dharmanam cha adhyasah tad viparyayena vishayinah tad dharmanam cha vishaya adhyasah mithya iti bhavitum yuktam. This can be taken as Purva Paksha and also as an opinion of some Shankaracharya, as a question for the further development. But the very beginning of the Sutra Bhashyam, Shankaracharya finishes Vedanta, where he says, Yushmad Asmat Pratyaya Gocharayoho, our experience, if you analyze it, it is two things. One is I am experiencing my existence. I, asmat pratyaya. And in a dark room I sit, I know I am. I don't need anyone to tell me, okay, you are there. No, I don't need anybody. It is swasiddham, swatasiddham. So this is, Shankaracharya says, this I means light. And all other things in the world, he says it is you. Between I and you, in the very beginning language, first person, second person, Vedanta ends. And there he says, you is unreal, not real. It is tamaha, darkness. I is light. You is darkness. Generally we say in our Vedanta lecture, in world there is only one word which has no meaning. If we say book, we know what it is. If we say orange, we know what it is. If we say coconut, we know what it is. Man, woman, we know. But if I say I know what it is. And he, a form comes to me. But if I say you, what meaning do you make out of it? When I say you, oh, he is calling some you. Your response is I, right? So when I say you, for you it is meaningless. It is only I. And the other person, third person, you cannot contact. The moment you contact, he becomes you. And when you see the you, it is not real. It is only I. So what exists is only I. And I in essential nature is Shuddha Chaitanya. And you does not exist, he does not exist. This I as an ego also does not exist. What is meant by I is Satchidananda. Sat Chit Ananda. That alone is real. This Bhāshyakāra begins his Sutra Bhashya by putting this bombshell. And all that the you represents, you put on this I, and that is called Adhyasa. The body is also you, Anatma. The mind is also you. The world is you. And all these you put on I and say, I am the body, I am the mind, I am a Brahmana, I am a Kshatriya, I am a Vaishya, I am a Shudra, I am a man, I am a woman, I am a doctor, I am an engineer, I am a scientist, I am a politician, I am black, I am white, I am fat, I am slim. All this aropana is done, adhyasa, superimposition. I don't know what it means, but we use that term. We know only one imposition ezhudradum Bale school. Something you impose, right? Tire la pambu, Raju Sarpa Vibhranti. The serpent is superimposed on the rope. Usual example. That is superimposition. So, this is the beauty of Bhashyam. So now we have finished Bhashyam. Now we come to Vārthikam. Evening also I have to talk. So, this Vārthikam is Sureshwaracharya's work. He is called Vārthikakāra. Uktanukta Durukta Chintanam. What all the Bhashya has told, that he should make more clear. What the Shankaracharya has not told, or any Bhāshyakara has not told, that he should say, like filling the blanks. And Durukta, something which unintentionally not expressed in the right way, that also should be expressed. So all these details are needed. So when Shankaracharya asked Sureshwara to write Vārthikam to Brahma Sutra, amongst Shankaracharya's disciples, lot of murmuring happened. This is the story. Because we know the story, many of you might have read the Atmatirtham, where Padmapada came to Shankaracharya and surrendered to him. Anandagiri was caught hold by Shankaracharya. On the way, he met Shankaracharya, and fascinated by Shankaracharya, Giri became Totakacharya. Hastamalaga was already full. Shankaracharya identified him. Sureshwara was so valuable that Shankaracharya travelled a long distance, went to his place to Maheshmati, fought with him and caught hold of him because so precious. Now the Shankaracharya who is in Puri, somebody asked him, is a Grihastha generally allowed as a Matadhipati in Shankaramat? So he said, generally, one who comes after Grihastha Ashrama is generally not there in the Matadhipati position, because very young we need energetic acharyas. But our Purvacharya is Sureshwara. And he said, what he is considered as the greatest of Shankaracharya's disciples in the academic circle, not in simply spiritual, because Totaka, Hastamalaga, all were great. But in the academic way, Sureshwara is considered as everybody is fighting that he is our Purvacharya, he is our Purvacharya, everywhere. Kanchi also, Sringeri also, and the Puri also, everywhere they say he is our former Acharya. So because somebody very precious, everybody wants him. And Sureshwaracharya, Vārthikakaara, he is considered as the authority on Shankaracharya's brethren. So we were talking about Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, where a murmuring happened when Shankaracharya asked him to write. So then Bhagavad-pada asked Sureshwaracharya to write an independent work to prove that he is very much authentic in Advaita Jnanam. Because everybody was doubting, he was a Karmakanda Nishtha, a Purva Mimamsaka. So if he writes on Vedanta, something of that element will come. That was the doubt. So he wrote this Naishkarmya Siddhi. Naishkarmya Siddhi, the very name is very beautiful. It comes in Bhagavad Gita. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jidatma vikataspiraha Naishkarmya Siddhim paramam sanyasena dhigachati. Naishkarmya Siddhi means the state where there is no karma. You go beyond karma, doership, enjoyership. And it is another name for jnanam. It is another name for sannyasa also. So that is Naishkarmya Siddhi. Naishkarmya bhavena vivarjita agama swayam prakashaya namaskaromi. It's a very beautiful verse in Bhagavata which says, Naishkarmya bhavena vivarjita agama. You go beyond all agama, karma. Vivarjita agama swayam prakashaya namaskaromi. That Atma is swayam prakasha vastu. And that is Bhagavat Swarupa. So, Naishkarmya Siddhi was written by Sureshwaracharya, a very independent, beautiful, powerful work he wrote. After reading that Padmapada, everybody felt, oh, such a great scholar of Advaita, such great clarity. After that, Bhagavan Bhāshyakāra asked him to write a Vārthikam for Brihadaranyakam. That Brihadaranya Vārthika is very huge, almost 10,000 verses, more, very big. And we can just go to Vārthikam here and there and just, you will think that I have studied the Vārthikam entirely. No. But the clarity, I went through Vārthikam many times. Jnana Prasunendra Swami, once we sat and went through the Vārthikam somewhere. And here and there I have heard Vārthikam from the Acharya Advaindra Swami speaking on Vārthikam. And I have also gone through important portions of Vārthikam, Bredaranика Vārthikam. But now, Naishkarmya Siddhi, now we are talking about it. In the very beginning, very beautiful 2 or 3 verses come where Sureshwaracharya says, see, our Western scholars will put their nose everywhere, or Westernized modern scholars. They will say, this is not that Sureshwara, this is not this Sureshwara, like that, and he has not studied under Shankaracharya, he is somebody who is later scholar, like that. So Sureshwara was perhaps very wise in that. He says, Srimat Shankara Pada Padma Yugalam Samsevya Labdho Jivan Jnanam Paramahamsya Metadamalam Swantandhakara Apanut. Very clearly he says, Srimat Shankara Pada Padma Yugalam Samsevya. After doing seva, kainkariam to Shankara Bhagavat Pada's feet, I have learned, got this knowledge. What is this knowledge? Jnanam Paramahamsyam Ekam Amalam. That immaculate pure jnanam, which is Paramahamsa jnanam, Swanta Andhakara Apanut, which completely removes the Andhakara, the darkness which covers the Atma. And who is Shankaracharya? Vedantodara Varti Bhaswadamalam Duhantachidasmadhiyo Divyam Jnanam Atindriyepi Vishaye Vyahanyate Nakvachit. That Acharya Pada, whose jnanam is akhandakara, which is beyond all the sensory perceptions, yo no nyaya shalakayaiva nikilam samsara bijam tamaha. He removed the bijam, the seed of ignorance, samsara, from my mind by doing one surgery. Shalaka means surgeon's instrument. Jnana shalakayaiva, by the shalaka of jnanam, or shalaka can be which eyeliner also. So when the eye opens, you see there is no dvaita, duality. Nikilam samsara bijam tamaha protsarya avirakarishit guru guruhu pujyaya tasmai namaha. He is saying, who is Shankaracharya? Guru guruhu. Guru guruhu means the guru of all gurus. Bhagavata speaks about Shukacharya as Gurunam Guruhu, Yoginam Paramam Guru, who is a guru for all the yogis. Like that here Bhagavad Pada also he says Guru Guruhu Pujyaya Tasmai Namaha. And to that Shankara Bhagavad Pada I am doing Namaskara. This Vārtika of Sureshwaracharya, as we said, has written so many Vārtikas. Bredaranика, Taitiri Upanishad, Panchikarana Vārtika, Manasollasa Vārtika, Naishkarmya Siddhi, etc. So, Sureshwaracharya is generally known as Purvashrama. His name was Vishwarupa. We are not going into that detail. And Shankaracharya it says Mandana Mishra and Ubhay Bharati. But modern scholars say Mandana Mishra is different, Sureshwara is different. All these arguments are there. Because Mandana Mishra's Brahma Siddhi, many things Sureshwaracharya negates in Vārtikam. Such contradictions are found. So that is all different thing that we are now not going. But in Vārtikam, we see some daring things, which is source for some common thing I will tell you. Sannyasa. Sannyasa is generally for those who have come in the Vedic background. So, And generally people say, Brahmacharyad grihi bhaved, grihi bhutva vani bhaved, vani bhutva pravrajet. Athava brahmacharyad eva grihadva vanadva. After grihastha ashrama, rinani trini apakritya mano mokshe niveshayet. Manusmriti. After paying back all the debts, like grihastha debt, all that, what has to be done, like rinamochana. After that you go to sannyasa. And people take this and say only after grihastha after going through this you should come to sannyasa. But Sureshwaracharya very bold. He says he has also come through grihastha as the story goes. So he says brahmacharya devetyadi vakyani shatasha shrutau. Hundreds of places Shruti says brahmacharya deva. If you have the enough energy in you, vairagya you have, you are qualified, then from brahmacharya itself, why not become free? Shruyate tu rinavachaha virodat syat apasmriti. He calls that smriti as apasmriti. Somebody has done some interpolation. He says that is not real. Such boldness is there. And about sannyasa also, for all the Trivarnikas, sannyasa is there. Kailasa ashrama, they all give to all the Trivarnikas. That also comes from Sureshwaracharya. He says, Trayanam avisheshena sannyasa shruyate shrutau. Because all the Trivarnikas, they study Vedas formerly. So, Trayanam avisheshena sannyasa shruyate shrutau. This is one thing which comes in the Vārthikam. With the Vārthika Pramanam only they do that. So, now, certain points I will just touch from Vārthikam. And Vārthikam is not something, any new teaching. It is only Shankaracharya what really means by the Advaita Jnanam. That Sureshwaracharya make it more clear. And he himself says, I am not writing this Naishkarmya Siddhi to get any name. Na khyadilava pujartam granthosma bhirudiryade. Swabodha parishuddhyartam brahmavin nikashashmasu. Those who are brahmavid, brahmajnanis, you just rub with them, then you will know how much you have. For that only I am writing this. And nitya muktatva vijnanam vakyad bhavati nanyataha. The Veda is the ultimate pramanam. And when the Shruti says you are nitya shuddha buddha mukta svabhavam, and that vakyam, if you have shraddha bhakti, you will be liberated. Dhuli andhakara dhumabra nirmukta gaganobhamam manasolasa it comes. The same thing comes in the Brihadaranyaka Vārtika also. So people have doubt whether Manasolasa is Sureshwaracharya's. You closely observe, you will find the common language there. The same thing comes in Vārtika also. There also he uses the same simile. So these are all some points. Already we are 12. I want to stop. So before that I will just touch this. Otherwise, I have never made notes before for my talks. Because these 3 giants I have to speak. 3 acharyas. So just to not to leave any point, I have taken the note. So, when you know the Mahavakya, the Nitya Siddha Vastu shines forth. Tattvamasyaadi Vakyotta Samyagdhi Janma Matrataha. When you hear the Tattvamasi Mahavakya and the right knowledge arises, avidya sahakaryena nasid asti bhavishyati. He says, then you know avidya, ignorance, was not there, is not there, will not be there. In all the kala, you are absolutely free. The purpose of Vedanta is to convince you that you are eternally free. Then the Purva Pakshi asks, Kasya Punarayama Vidya? Then who is having this ignorance? Iti chet. This is Bhashya. Yastvam prachasi tasya taditi vadamaha. You are asking for whom is avidya? For him only. Here comes Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. Who am I? You say, who is ignorant? But the I which is asking. Nanu, aham Ishvara eva uktaha shrutya. Then he himself says, Shruti says, I am Ishvara. Yadi evam pratibuddhosi. Acharya says, if you know that, you are already awakened. Nasti kasichit aprabodhaha. Now you have no unawakenedness. You are already free. If you know that, you are free. So, Tvam paramatmanam santam asamsarinam samsari ahamasmiti pratibadhyase. Akartaram santam karta iti. Abhoktaram santam bhokta iti. Vidyamanam cha avidyamana iti. Iyam avidya. I am just quoting because somebody will be listening, they will get these things. That's all. It's all Upadesha Sahasri. So, you are Paramatma, you are Brahman. You are not a samsari. There is no samsara for you. But you think I am a samsari, I am bound, I am the doer. You are not a doer, but you think you are a doer. You are not an enjoyer, you think you are an enjoyer. The ever available truth, you think it is not there. This is samsara, this is avidya. Just to remove this avidya, you go to the teacher and get the jnanam, that is all. When you get the jnanam, you will be free. You will be crossing the samsara in no time. Sureshwara himself had a disciple, very famous disciple, Sarvajñātmayati. He says, Sarvajñātmayatindra, he says, Yadiya samparkam avapya kevalam vayam kritarthaha niravadya kirtayaha. By coming in contact with that great teacher, I have attained the fulfillment. And that flawless teacher, Jagatsute Tarita Shishya Panktayaha. In the world, he has made many disciples cross this ocean of samsara. Jayanti Deveshwara Pada Renavaha. That Deveshwara means Sureshwara. That Sureshwara's Pada Renu, the dust of Sureshwaracharya, it wins. It gets glorified. So, this is Sureshwaracharya's greatness. So, that Sureshwaracharya Mahatmyam, I will just give you one simple sample, which everybody, it will be useful. Then we will stop. The entire spiritual life, Vedic life, Sureshwaracharya says, Nitya Karmanushthanat Dharmotpattihi. First thing that a common person has to do is Nitya Karmanushtana. And when you do Nitya Karmanushtana with Shraddha, Bhakti, what will happen? Something called Dharma happens in you. And what is Dharma? Dharmotpattehe Papa Hanihi. When Dharma arises, Papa means obstacle for Jnanam goes away. Papa Hanihi. And Tataha Chitta Shuddhihi. And the result, continuing result is purity of mind, Chitta Shuddhi. Tataha Samsara Yathatmya Avabodha. What is the sign of Chitta Shuddhi? Purity of mind. People, no one will accept their mind is impure. We are not coming for satsanga. Mind is pure, that is enough, people will say. So purity of mind means you know this samsara is anityam, ashashvatam, there is sorrow here, there is, if you come to know the danger of not having jnanam, not attaining jnanam, the danger of ignorance you become aware. So that is yathatmya avabodha. Then what happens? Tato vairagyam. Then comes dispassion for the unreal, worthlessness. then what happens? Tato mumukshutvam, the thirst for liberation. Then tadupaya paryeshanam. Then you inquire into the method by which you can become free. How can I attain that state? Tataha sarva karma tat sadhana sanyasaha. Then the person gives up all this motivated action, renounces all this motivated action. Tato yoga abhyasa. We have to put it in the quotes. Because scholarly people, many people, it has become a fashion to deny yoga abhyasa. Yoga abhyasa is not this hard yoga abhyasa. Chittavritti nirodha abhyasa is, our Sandhyavandana is also yoga abhyasa. Gayatri Japa is also yoga abhyasa. Meditation is yoga abhyasa. Upasana is yoga abhyasa. So that is very much necessary. Without that it is impossible, because mind is vikshipta. It is scattered. So tataha, I am not telling this, this is Sureshwaracharya's way. Tato yoga abhyasaha tataha chittasya pratyak pravanata. When the mind is sufficiently pure, concentrated, yoga yuktam, then pratyak pravanata, the mind becomes introverted. You know, when you go to a great Mahatma or Satsanga, the result is the mind becomes sufficiently introverted. Antarmukha samaradhya, bahirmukha sudurlabha. So antarmukhata, you get antarmukhata. Pratyak pravanata. When the mind is introverted, turned towards the self, tattvamasyadi vakyartha parijnanam, then only the person will understand, know, will have the true knowledge, the essence of tattvamasi mahavakyam. Not by simply studying, reading the books. No. The teacher is giving the knowledge, the person is atmanishtha. Then tato avidyochedaha. Then the avidya is removed, ignorance is removed. Tatascha swatmani eva avasthanam. Then the person abides in his real nature. Brahmaiva san brahmapyeti. He was already Brahman, now he becomes Brahman. Brahmaiva san brahmapyeti. Vimuktasya vimuchyate. He is already liberated, now he becomes liberated. What does it mean? Already liberated, now he recognizes that he is liberated. Now he recognizes that he is free. Ippadi paramparaya varadu. By parampara, by sequence, one by one, the person slowly attains Naishkarmya Siddhim Paramam. He attains Naishkarmya Siddhi, where his aham is, see what Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, the essence of it Sureshwaracharya brings in Vārthikam. Shamadhi sadhanav pashyed atmanyatmanam anjasa anvaya vyatireka abhyam tektva yushmad asheshataha. From asmat, the yushmat is removed. All that anatma is removed. Yushmadarthe parityakte. Purvoktaihi hetubhishruti. Vikshapannasya kosmiti. Then the person asks, kosmi, who am I? What is my real nature? Tattvamityaha sauhridat. When the disciple is asking, who am I? Then the teacher comes, the state where the I does not arise, where the akhanda satchidananda vastu is shining, that is you. Tattvamasi. Ahamaha pratyagatmarto nirastashesha yushmadaha bambhaniti shrutir nyaya yoyamityadina asakrit. Asakrit means many times Shruti says pratyagatmartha. The essential meaning of I is pratyagatma, where there is no anatma, satchidanandam. And that can be attained only by aham vritti. Sureshwaracharya also, like Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, he stands there. He says, aham vrityaiva tad brahma yasmadesho vagacchati tat swarupa layenata karanam syad ahankriti. When the ahankriti merges in the source, when the ahankriti merges in the source, he recognizes the essence, the real meaning of I. Then he knows the real meaning of I is not jiva, is not this ahankara, aham vritti iva dvarabhudaya tad brahma avagacchati yathavat pratipadyate mumukshuhu ahankritihi swayam layam gatva swakiya advitiya akhanda swarupatam prakashayati. When the ahankara merges in the source, that which is advitiya, akhanda, sachidananda swarupa, it shines forth. Aham shabdasya ya nishta jyotishi pratyagatmani saivokta sadasityevam phalam tatra vimuktata. Aham shabdasya ya nishta. The real meaning of I is jyoti. It is pure effulgence, pure light. And that itself Shruti says tattvamasi. When that is known, the person becomes absolutely free. Then he knows there was no bondage in the past, there is no bondage now, and bondage is impossible in future. I am eternally free. Mukti is swabhavam. Mukti is iyalbu, natural. It is my very swarupa. The only thing that is necessary is avidyochedaha. The avidya, the ignorance is removed, then one recognizes that one's swarupam is nitya shuddha buddha mukta swarupam. That samanadhikaranyam, what they say. That ahankara is removed, that satta is same everywhere. It is the adhikarana, the adhisthana is pure nitya shuddha buddha mukta swabhavam brahma. So this is the ultimate declaration of the Advaita Vedanta. This Advaita Vedanta becomes fruitful in Vārthikakaara's Vārthikam. When a person has studied Vārthikam, he becomes absolutely convinced about his own Swarupa as Nitya Muktam. He needs no help from anywhere. People sometimes say, Jnana Karma Samuchaya. You should have Karma and Jnanam combined. When you have Jnanam, there is no Karma in you. There is no Samuchaya, is impossible. Sureshwaracharya says Samuchaya is like getting married an owl and the crow. Taka uluka. The crow can see only daytime. Owl can see only night time. Both will never meet. Like that, these two can never meet. So this is the essence of Advaita, the Sara of Advaita, the cream of Advaita, where by the right aspirant, the deserving aspirant, Adhikari, Mumukshu, when he goes to the teacher, he attains the Samyak Jnanam, he instantaneously becomes liberated. We cannot even say Jivan Mukti, it is Sadhyo Mukti. That moment he becomes liberated. Mukti hi Atma ivananya. Mukti is the very nature of the Atma, Swarupa. So that kind of absolute freedom is guaranteed when you listen to Vedanta Jnanam. And that daringness we see in Sureshwaracharya Vārthikakaara. We will just enjoy the further flow of this samstha, Advai Aham Brahmasmi, this organization which is doing immense work to propagate the Advaita Vedanta teaching. So many of them, they are all known to us. Before also I have gone there, and further Mysore also I am going. And this Advaita Vedanta Sabha, many youngsters, those children who are listening to us in Vedanta, some of them now they are giving wonderful talks. They have absorbed the teaching so deeply, and they are all giving talks on Prakarana Grantha or Shastra. Many are very great scholars also, some of them. So, and they all are being trained, and we cannot say trained, they are all channeled into this stream of this organizers, and some of them they go to from outside India also to give talks, because our devotees, many of our children, they have gone there. So you have to go there, what to do? and if possible bring them back. So that also is a great mission that is there. So that is also happening through this organization. We wish all best wishes, Bhagavad Anugraha for this organization and the organizers. Anyway, Acharya's Anugraha is there. Sannidhanam is giving so much of his attention to this organization, his compassion, his blessing is there behind them. Every program they are asking Sannidhanam. So this is continuing like this. So with this I am concluding this talk session. I never thought that I will speak so much. It's almost more than 2 hours. So anyway, so subject is so vast, what to do? So we have to do justice. Today evening we have this Bhagavad Gita session. I don't know whether I will be like Arjuna Vishada Yoga after this talk. Bit tired. Anyway, energy will be there. Hope so. Sarvatra Govindanama Sankirtanam Janaki Kantasmaranam Haranam of Parvati Pataye.